You are listening to Parking Lot Perspectives with Darin and Evan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Parking Lot Perspectives, episode
4.
Number
We're
4.
back. Thank you for being patient.
It's been a wonderful month in October so far. Evan's been traveling, so
Yes, wedding season.
wedding season. So we've taken a little bit of a break, but we're back.
We're back at it.
And we just saw what we both think might have been one of the better movies we've seen this year.
I think so, yeah.
Saturday Night.
Yeah, Saturday night. Good old SNL.
Evan was not even born when SNL premiered, and I was a mere 8 years old, I think, when it premiered in 1975. So I think
you were smiling.
I was smiling.
Ear in this theater.
My toe was tapping. I was smiling. So, do you want to give the plot? You want me to give?
Why
the
don't
plot?
you give the plot this
I'll give the
time?
plot.
This is back in your timeline.
Wow.
I was not even a thought.
Wow. Artie, I'm sorry about that. So, folks, just to be real upfront, this is about the very first episode of Saturday Night Live, just called Saturday Night, how it came to life. Really focuses around Lorne Michael. We'll get into the actors in a little bit here, but the plot is really based around, I think it starts at 10 o'clock and then it goes all the way to 10:30. Almost, as you pointed out, the length of the movie.
Almost the length of the movie. The movie was around an hour and 49 minutes.
Yep. So very, very cool the way they did it. A lot of actors are in this movie. And while you may not know all their names, you're going to know some people, and we're going to go through them. But that's the plot. It really focuses around Lorne Michaels and what he had to do to bring the show to air. The battle that he might have gone against with the network executives at NBC, which was real. And if any of you have never seen it, you might want to Google it. It's a real thing. But that all came to life in this movie. And I think the plot was pretty simple. Evan and I went in with no expectations because once again, and Evan's going to pop up the pictures.
Oh, it'll be up. Don't worry.
No one.
Ghost Town. The marketing that these movies put out, there's none. It's obvious.
Yeah.
I know we went on a Tuesday this time, but it was Discount Tuesday.
It was Discount Tuesday.
That's a prime time.
Yeah, we thought more people would be there at Discount Tuesday. Maybe it's the Regal Cinema in Burkdale.
Maybe
get your
it is.
stuff together, do some promotions.
Yeah.
But also,
There
I think
goes
maybe
that
Hollywood.
sponsorship.
Yeah, maybe no sponsorship there, but we'll see. But Hollywood needs to get their act together. I mean, this was a movie
that needed to be seen by a lot of people, I think.
Because it's definitely geared towards my generation, my age, more than Evan's. But he knew a lot of the people that were there and kind of the storyline. So, with that said, let's jump into the actors, because I think we've got a lot of actors, and we're gonna kind of take this way through. So the first guy up is Gabriel LaBelle. He plays Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
You said he was in what?
Let's take a look.
Because I had never seen this guy in anything, but his voice.
The Fabelmans, which I think is
Fabelmans.
I think that was a movie that came out recently. But again, a lot of these actors we find are not too popular, right? When I say that, you say their name and you can't even think of a movie or show that they were recently in, which we're not knocking them. Maybe they're young and rising actors. But there are a couple that are definitely old school actors that popped up, and we were actually surprised to see them. So
just be prepared, folks. When you see the movie, the mannerisms, the vocal stylings are spot on of the original cast members, of the people who play them.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. So it's Gabriel LaBelle. I thought he did a really nice job. Really talked like Lorne Michaels. You could see his thought process as we went through this.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
And when I was watching this, Darin, I just, I of course don't remember any of them at their younger ages, but Lorne Michaels, I saw it. I had like a Lorne Michaels vibe when when he pops on SNL here and there.
Yep.
Obviously he's a lot older now, but the stress level that he went through behind the scenes, it's a live show.
Great call.
So think about that for a second. We don't do this live. We'd be too stressed out, right? Things could go wrong in a second. But he pulled it together, and SNL's been around now, 50 years.
50 years. This
now.
is the
50
50th
years.
anniversary. And I do remember, actually, we were joking, Evan and I, that I actually was at my dad's house when this premiered in 1975 in his basement, watching this with my brother Don, my brother Dave, maybe my brother Doug and Dennis were there. But I definitely remember watching it being like, what in God's name is this? Because the music is what stood out in the early 3 seasons of SNL.
Yeah.
Is what was really good. So
and we'll cover the music.
We'll cover
I thought that was great.
So Gabriel LaBelle did a really nice job. Next up is Rachel Sennott. She was in an ABC series, I think, with Nancy Travis. That's who I remember from. But
she was in an HBO show, The Idol, which was a bomb. The Weeknd was in it. It got a 4.4 on IMDb. But she shined in this.
She really did a nice job. She plays Lorne Michael's wife. And we do wife in quotes because
I'm a little confused.
We're a little confused on that. I never read the book on SNL. I think my buddy Glenn might have, but she was like in a love interest with Dan Aykroyd. It was really weird. That was.
I wonder if that's true. We could fact check that, but
So I think she did a nice job. She was a writer for the show. She was kind of Lauren's right hand man, right? Yeah. I think in that.
She kept John Belushi in check.
That she did. So next up is, I think, probably the guy who stole it, besides the guy who played Dan Aykroyd, we'll get to, is Corey Michael Smith. He played Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
When he does his live from New York, it's Saturday night. Yeah. I mean, man, his vocal things in the scenes.
I thought it was a very authentic introduction to the show. I mean, again, when you watch this, which we highly recommend you do, give it a shot. They really hit home on a lot of these characters.
Has he been in anything? This guy?
Another character in Transatlantic, another TV show, a couple other movies that I do not recognize, but not knocking the guy. He was also on an episode of Law and Order. So,
there you go. I thought he did a really good job. Yeah. He was very good. Next up was Ella Hunt. She did Gilda Radner.
Okay.
And for anyone who might remember Gilda Radner, she is, I think she was one of the first cast members from the original cast to pass away. I believe she passed away of cancer. She was married to Gene Wilder. This Ella Hunt, I thought, did a really good job. She even had some of the vocal stylings of how Gilda Radner would say some of her words. Didn't do the Barbara Wawa or anything. That's not in the movie because it wasn't in the first episode. What's your thoughts?
I thought she did good. Like I said before, I don't recognize any of these unless I YouTube it, but I will say they were focusing a lot on her voice, so I guess a lot of the older folk in the theater picked up on that. So
it's really good. Next is Dylan O'Brien. I think one of 2 actors
that we recognize
besides the major actors. We knew immediately. He was in what?
Maze Runner.
Maze Runner. So
series.
This kid plays Dan Aykroyd. He does I think his physical.
Yeah.
There's a couple scenes without giving it away. He acts like Dan Aykroyd did in the skit. And for those of you that are watching this that are my age and saw the first episode or you've seen it on YouTube, he does a really good Fred Garvin, male prostitute. And he does that to 3 or 4 characters. But
yeah,
you liked him.
I liked it. I liked the way he performed in this movie. Again, he's a very good actor from Maze Runner, for those who know him from that. He was also in the TV show Teen Wolf, which, again, is from 2011, 2017. So it was running for a long time. But then Maze Runner kind of picked up his acting career, I think, which is great.
Next is Emily Farn. She played Lorraine Newman. Again, I don't think she's anyone. She did a really nice job.
She's anyone. That's nice.
I mean,
Emily.
Sorry, Emily, but
no. She was in a Black Mirror episode.
She was in a Black Mirror. That seems to be a theme of all of our podcasts. Somebody's always in a Black Mirror episode, but
that's it.
Yeah, she did a really nice job with Lorraine Newman. Lorraine Newman was kind of the middle person between the funniness of Gilda Radner, and then you had Jane Curtin was the other person. She was in the middle person. I think she did a nice job, right?
I definitely think so.
This guy, Matt Wood, he played John Belushi, and at first I wasn't sold. He grew on me, and I thought he did really, really well.
He did. His character kind of in the beginning is kind of annoying, at least from my opinion. But yeah, give him a chance. He kind of picks up towards the end, and really appreciate his character. And again, from what I remember, just from people, family members, John Belushi was it on Saturday Night Live. He really brought a lot of humor and comedy to the show. So
yeah, good call. Next up, the other guy, the only other regular that I remembered was Lamorne Morris. He plays Garrett Morris. And Lamorne was in, I believe, New Girl with Zooey Deschanel.
New Girl and Fargo.
He is hilarious. I think this guy is hilarious. So I really appreciate him. But again, there's a scene near the end of the movie when they're getting ready to go live, and he sings a song.
It was great.
It is one of my favorite things because it was actually used in a skit.
So it was a real thing.
Actual skit. Yeah. Okay. So he did it as a sound check, and I told Evan, I said that was actually used in a real skit, and Evan's like, "Are you kidding me?"
I mean, again, A lot of things back then they got away with.
A lot of things.
In SNL, which is why I don't really like it today, if I'm being honest. But back then they got away with everything.
They did.
And you'll know exactly what we're talking about with
so,
that.
Next up, Kim Matula. She played Jane Curtin. Really didn't use a lot of her in the movie. I think she's maybe in 5 scenes, really quick. She was not...
Couple scenes.
Not used. Anything she's been in.
Not that I see.
Hey.
NCIS, one episode.
It's kind of like the real SNL. Not ready for primetime players. So a lot of these
actors... She was in The
actors...
Sex Lives of College Girls, which is a good show.
Okay, yeah.
No, that's a good show. It's on HBO. I watched it. I've been waiting. It's been a couple of years. But... Other than that, no.
Okay.
That was it.
So I do think that is very similar to how SNL did it with the not ready for primetime players. I think a lot of these actors were pulled. They were not famous actors. One kid that was in the movie that Evan and I looked at each other and was like, what? Was Finn Wolfhard from...
Who was that film?
Finn. Finn Wolfhard from... Fact check, thank you. From Stranger Things. He actually plays a page trying to get people tickets to get into the NBC studio to watch the first taping. Not used a lot, but...
No. For those, again, Mike Wheeler from Stranger Things. Richie from It, the movie It, which was very popular. And then Afterlife, Ghostbusters, he was also in. So, again, up-and-coming actor. I think Stranger Things promoted him up to the top. Yep. Everyone's recognizing his talent, and I'm happy to see it.
I'm just going to mention his name. I don't know I forgot the original. I think his name was Johnny, the original announcer of SNL.
Oh, right.
But the guy named Colby James West, he plays the original announcer of SNL who did it for, I think, 40 years until he passed away. And then Daryl Hammond took it over.
Yeah.
But he did a nice job. One of the shockers, if you've ever seen the HBO series Succession.
I have not.
You give me grief for not watching it.
I will
cannot believe
everyone says to watch that. It's on my list.
So Nicholas Braun, who's in Succession, he's a guy who's like 6'6", 6'8". He plays 2 characters in this movie, and I thought he was fantastic in it. He plays Jim Henson. You might be saying Jim Henson? Yes, Jim Henson and the Muppets were in the very first episode of Saturday Night.
Wait, that was him?
That was him. Yeah, He played Jim Henson, and he played Andy...
Yes, that
Kaufman. And I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, if he was those 2 characters, which I wasn't even aware of, he's a heck of an actor, I guess, hiding behind makeup. But wow, good talent. I was, again, I recognized him actually when I started looking him up. He actually was from the movie Sky High.
Oh, that's right. He was, he was a tall sidekick.
Yeah, a long time ago, but awesome movie.
Good call.
Yeah.
Next up, another actor, probably not... nothing against him, but again, a lot of these folks are new in their career. Cooper Hoffman played Dick Ebersol, and some of you are like, who the hell's Dick Ebersol?
We'll put a photo up.
Dick Ebersol was actually one of the executives at NBC that brought Saturday Night to fruition. So I thought he did a nice job. They make fun of him with his clothes. You'll get a kick out of it when you see that, but I want to mention Cooper Hoffman.
Kind of looks like Ron Weasley a little bit.
Little bit. Then I think we've got to jump into, we've got all these folks. There's a lot of pop-ons of people who did stuff.
Yeah, why don't we go... We'll end with Dick there. But we'll pick up with J.K. Simmons, maybe.
J.K. Simmons. And by the way, what's the tie between J.K. Simmons and Ivan Reitman, the director?
Oh, don't you dare do that to me.
So Ivan Reitman actually used J.K. Simmons in Whiplash, I believe.
Whiplash.
So J.K. Simmons plays Milton Berle. Evan was like, who?
Yeah, this guy was a creep.
Anyone who remembers, Milton Berle is considered the worst host, almost besides Steven Seagal. Milton Berle is considered the worst host in the history of Saturday Night Live. I think he was the first one to be blackballed and not invited back. He was a horrible host. And J.K. Simmons plays him very, very well in this. Who else do we got? I thought we had a couple other people in here.
Well, you had William Dafoe.
William Dafoe again. So
again, was this a surprise cast?
So Evan sits down at the theater. He's like, "Hey, William Dafoe's in this." I thought he was joking. I thought he was yanking my chain because he's
we literally
in everything.
Just saw him in Beetlejuice. And he was in something else too.
Yeah. So we were like, "Oh, was he in Megalopolis?"
Yeah, no. He was.
That's right, he was. So we're like, "What the heck?" And yeah, he was in. And William Dafoe plays Dick Tippett, I think is his name. Yeah. He was the head of talent at NBC. So I thought William Dafoe,
he hits
awesome.
all these characters spot on, but I liked the way his acting is, his style. way better in this than Beetlejuice.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
They gave him a chance, and he kind of went with it, and I love it.
Another good surprise was Robert Wuhl was in this movie. Robert Wuhl was in one of the Batman movies. He was in Hollywood Nights. He's done various things. Fun actor, great voice. He actually looks very old. It a little shocked me, but I thought it was good.
Darren, they're all getting up there, Darren.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to do a show from the 70s.
And then the last guy I'm going to close it out with is a guy named John Batiste. He played Billy Preston, and Billy Preston was one of the acts that was on the very first episode of Saturday Night. He did a really nice job of his hit song at the time, so I thought that was great that he used him. I forgot. There's 2 more people. Tracy Letts was in this. He played Herb Sargent, one of the writers, kind of producers on Saturday Night. You might remember him. He played Henry Ford II in Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, okay.
And he's played a few other things. He was actually in the Showtime show, I think, with Magic Johnson, All About Magic. He is a phenomenal actor, and he does a really good job in his brief time. And also Paul Rust. Paul Rust was in, I think, The Intern with...
Don't have him up, but
no,
sounds right.
The guys. The Intern. You know, the one we did with Google?
Oh, with Vince Vaughn in there?
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn and Owen...
Oh, Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson. He was in that. So he does a really good job. I'm sorry, that's Paul Rust. He played Michael Schaefer. Wow. Paul Schaefer. So you'll have to edit that a little bit.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll fix that.
What else you telling lies about?
I know. What else?
Was anything you said true?
Hold on, folks, because that's not good.
You know what? We should have just stopped at William Dafoe, but no. You gotta keep going.
We'll let Evan fix that.
All right.
Okay.
And we're back.
And we're back. So we've talked about the actors. I would say let's move on to the soundtrack.
Soundtrack, unreal in this. I felt like I was there, Darren. I mean, again, they're trying to draw you in, kind of give you that old 70s vibe, like how it was, the look, the feel, the sound. But man, like when that band was playing and just like you hear the saxophone, all that in the background, I just hear SNL in my head. So.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, and it wasn't a lot of music.
No,
it was not a lot of music, but the songs that they did use, we were like, yep, got it. Felt good. We knew it.
They nailed it. I wonder. Maybe I'll look this up while we're talking. But I wonder if the same guy that does SNL did some of the sound here.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if they used Paul Schaefer. Next up is cinematography. This was shot kind of wonky.
A little bit.
If anything, I would critique on this movie, folks, probably would be cinematography. I'm not sure that this was.
It was a little out there, not Megalopolis out there.
No,
but. There was, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of the cinematography with SNL, like when they do skits behind the stage, like when they go behind the scenes, it kind of felt like that, like they were opening the door.
Okay, that's a fair point.
So maybe
that's a really fair point.
So like, think you're watching SNL episode, they actually say, come on the back, and they see that's what it kind of felt like.
Good point.
They were kind of,
Special effects, I'm not even sure there was was there any special effects?
There was one scene, not really special effects, but it was funny.
It was funny.
There's blood.
Last person we haven't talked about is the director, Ivan Reitman. For those who don't know, or this is Jason Reitman. Sorry,
it's Jason. Don't worry about Darren. He's making names up.
I make names up sometimes, but it's Ivan Reitman's son. Ivan Reitman. Those of you might remember. I believe Reitman helped write the original Ghostbusters and a lot of that stuff. He's worked with Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis in the past, but his son Jason Reitman's done a lot of movies.
He's done Up in the Air, Juno,
yep,
Labor Day, and that's all I can see.
No, he's done more of that. Anyways, I thought he did a really good job.
He produced a lot of movies, too. He produced Ghostbusters, the newer one, so.
So let's, at this time, we normally would step away and hear from, again, moviegoers like us. Again, Evan's going to pop up the empty theater picks.
There it is.
Nobody.
We might as well just call up this Regal and say, do you just want us to be your only customers? Because that's how it feels.
Every time.
It's fine, though, right? I mean, the whole premise of this show, this podcast, is to kind of gauge the viewers and their thoughts as well. But guess what? This shows that they need to market these movies better.
Great call.
We need to kind of get our voices out there for the listeners and people watching this. Like, go check it out. Go fill those theaters up. Don't wait for this movie to come out on streaming. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth Discount Tuesday, which, it's cheaper tickets, but by all means, we always try to get people to interview. it just there was no one there. So we're not gonna lie or make stuff up.
That's right. So now we're gonna go down our sizzle, meaning it's fantastic, meh, it's okay, and fizzle is a bomb. So let's talk about the plot. Sizzle, meh, fizzle.
Sizzle all the way.
Sizzle all the way.
I think they nailed it. They got to the point quick, right? I mean, it was not a long movie either. So
1 hour and 49 minutes. Yeah. That was like the perfect length. Yeah,
I think it was, and power to them. I think they handled it very well. They didn't leave anything open, and quite honestly, I loved the ending. So
excellent. Soundtrack.
Very good. Sizzle.
I would agree. Again, not a lot of songs, to be clear, but the ones they have, you're tapping your feet. You're like, yeah, I remember that.
And the one song that, what was his name played or signed?
Billy Preston.
Oh,
nothing from nothing leaves something.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Fantastic.
And that was not Billy Preston. It was actually the guy doing it, John Batiste. I think he did a good job with it.
Yeah.
Cinematography. Sizzle, meh, fizzle.
I'm meta fizzle.
I'm a meta. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a meh. I'm not gonna give it a fizzle, but it was a meh. It was.
Yeah, I see where they were going with it. Like, go behind the scenes, see what's happening. Cool. But kind of lost me a little bit at some scenes. I mean, there's an ice rink scene. It was weird, but overall, meh. Maybe leaning towards fizzle for me.
I'm gonna keep it a solid meh, and here's why. I think it made you feel like 1975. You don't remember that, but it was brownish tint. There was a hue like brownish. You should have gave it a sizzle. I give it a meh.
Wow.
Actors.
We're gonna go sizzle.
Wow, he almost gave a fizzle.
Have Audra. Yeah, we're gonna go sizzle with the actors. I'm giving them a ton of credit. They are not in a lot of movies, not in a lot of shows. They're not, their names you don't recognize if you see them on a piece of paper. But hey, give them a chance. I want to see them in more movies. They did a great job portraying a lot of these older characters, back in their primes. So
good call. I sizzled as well. I agree. Special effects, folks. There are no special effects.
Yeah, we're gonna give that a blank.
Yeah, we don't know. Director.
I'm gonna go sizzle. I like the directing style of this movie.
Yeah, I think Jason Reitman did a very, very nice job. I think he's a sizzle as well. So
again, I don't know if we covered this earlier, but the whole premise, the concept of this is like the stress, right? Developing the show, making really NBC. I literally felt like stressed out for Lorne Michael a little bit, and I think that's what the director wanted you to feel as a viewer. Watching this, you're there, you're behind the scenes, you're about to go live, like right into the very moment, and they don't pull the plug and they actually move forward. So
spot on. So as we wrap up, a couple things. One, don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to subscribe to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
We had a lot of feedback from Megalopolis.
Yeah, Megacrapolis, we actually had some people reach out, which is what we encourage, right? Please reach out, whether it's comments on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever we're posting to. We want to hear from you. You do not need to agree with us in any way.
100%.
You can see this movie and be absolutely mad. And just don't ask us to refund your ticket, right? You go at your own, you go at your own risk. We don't have the funds for that yet. We're trying to make it big here. But very good. Very good opportunity to see this movie. Don't waste any time.
Yeah, I think we both agree this is a sizzle. Definitely, I agree. I agree with Evan. I would not wait for streaming. This is one I think it's fun enough to see at the big screen.
Yeah,
and especially to Evan's point, we went on like half day or half cost Tuesday. It was a very enjoyable movie.
Yeah,
I think a lot of folks out there would really enjoy it. So,
I would say bring a chaperone with you. What I mean by that is, I'm very young. I didn't grow up in this timeline, so I brought my chaperone with me, Darin, who kind of pointed and he whispered over because he didn't have to whisper, he could have yelled. No, it was in the theater, but he kind of helped me out, right? So bring your parents, your grandparents, whoever,
wow.
Just bring a chaperone. You'll be much better, in better shape.
So with that, we'll close it out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching Parking Lot Perspectives. This has been Saturday Night, the podcast Parking Lot Perspectives of episode 4, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Yes.
Have a great one.
Bye, everyone.